Now this morning we turn to Purdue, and when you think biofuel, you probably think about ethanol, which is made from corn. But scientists at the school are in the early stages of developing fuel from trees. News 18 this morning takes a look at how it's done.
These are poplar trees, almost 2,000 of them growing on a Purdue farm. Poplars aren't rare, but you won't find this exact kind anywhere else in the world because these were born in a lab.
We can genetically engineer it relatively easily.
And that's where you come in.
And that's where I come in. We can put genes in, novel genes, to impart traits that the tree doesn't already have. Alternatively,
Rick Milan walked us through the 3 acres of trees he created. He crossbreeds strains of poplar to come up with ones that grow quickly, resist disease, and can potentially produce the most fuel.
10, 15 years from now, we'll be able to utilize these trees as a feedstock, as a biomass source for making ethanol. So rather than relying exclusively on corn for making ethanol to use as a fuel, we'll be able to use the sugars that are in the walls of these trees.
Getting those sugars out is not easy, though. It's a process Rakesh Agrawal and his team have been working on for 5 years.
We all sat down and thought of the process, which if we could break the biomass into smaller molecules at high temperature and immediately remove the oxygen, then we could collect liquid product, which would be very valuable.
Agrawal's biomass comes straight from Milan. Poplar is the most popular, but the group also experiments with corn stover left over from the harvest and almost any other plant. They heat up all of this biomass to almost 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit in a custom-made reactor. Their work is similar to a project we reported on earlier this year, making jet fuel for the Navy. The biggest difference, Agrawal says, is that his group doesn't care where you get your biomass, but the jet fuel group has to be a little more picky.
So you give us any biomass and we will give you the liquid.
It's a process, Milan says, that is renewable in the truest sense of the word.
With fossil fuels, we're combusting the fossil fuels and releasing the CO2 in the atmosphere. The nice thing about these trees, sure, we're combusting a product that's made from these trees, but then the trees can fix the CO2 that's emitted into the atmosphere back into biomass.